3 seconds.
Afro Fish OG.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 8 of the second season-ish. I haven't figured that part out yet. Of Afro in the Know. It is Friday, great day. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited. Tired a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay because today we have Ash from Strangewonderful. I love the name, by the way. Actually,
thank you.
Absolutely love it. And my actual question right off the bat here before we get into deep dive, where'd you get that name to start with?
Okay, so how I came up with Strangewonderful was just the simple fact that like things that are often considered like unknown or things that might be a little mysterious or different are often considered strange. But just because they're strange doesn't often mean that they can't be wonderful, that they can't be these great things. And I feel like a lot of the things that I typically love are very strange things, but they are very wonderful things. And I feel like that also depicts who I am as a person as well.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot. And I mean, absolutely true. Especially I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to the gaming space, when it comes to like all nerd culture in general, there's a lot of strange things out there that you find are just absolutely amazing. And I think every single day there's always something new.
Absolutely.
But for everybody else who comes in and sits and chats a little bit, tell a little bit about yourself. I'm curious to know more about you.
Okay, so my name is Ashley. For short, I go by Ash. So full-time, I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a social worker. And on the side, I am a vigilante streamer who loves video games, loves geek culture. I go to a lot of like, let's just say like touristy type of events, everything from Comic-Cons, and most of them are centered around geek culture, but like Comic-Cons, horror cons, anything that you can imagine that's just kind of like fun and then also has like that certain air of like geekdom. And that is pretty much my world. So I do everything that is kind of like a flux between my three worlds.
I love that. That's awesome. I mean, first of all, congrats on being able to go to Comic. I've been wanting to go to Comic-Con for like years and just never have gotten.
Oh my God, you haven't been?
No, I always told myself I was going to, and then like I would always put it off. And then this is funny because this year I was so set on going to what's it called? PAX.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited to go to PAX. However, I have a kid on the way. So and it's right in July and PAX is in August. And I was like, no, it's fine, be selfish. But
which PAX? Was it PAX East or
PAX West, I believe?
Okay.
So I was gonna be super stoked to go. I think PAX East, is in March, I believe.
Yeah, it's definitely cold out when PAX East happens.
I live in Wisconsin, so I definitely get it. Okay. So I'm interested because one, you said your main occupation is as a mental health professional.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that interesting, especially when it comes to the gaming space. Because I mean, from your perspective, I mean, there's a lot. I think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to it between mental health from gamers and just. I don't want to say there's a decrease in the mental health from people, but I think that like building a community can help people on so many different levels.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Community is everything. I think for no matter what industry or area of interest you are, like mental health is so important, especially in this day and age, just because there's so much toxicity that happens. There's just devastation happening at every corner. People are losing family members. I mean, especially after COVID, a lot of people have struggled in different ways. So it's always amazing to see how, I would say in geek culture, like how communities come together to support each other. Definitely.
Definitely. I would agree. I mean, especially COVID was, I mean, everyone was inside. So I think that's when like people noticed like how gaming was just such a boom.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I think for like a lot of people, I mean, it was everyone was becoming creators. Everyone was like, "Hey, I want to try to stream, do something." And it was interesting how much, between Xbox and PlayStations and like all around when it comes to gaming, like I want to say like how people were able to connect.
Hmm.
That part to me is amazing. Um,
Absolutely.
I find it amazing, and from I mean, obviously, like from your perspective too. Um, have you noticed that from other people? Do you see things a little bit differently being like a mental health professional than like maybe someone else who is not?
Um, I would say I do see it in different ways, and I feel like the conversation often comes up, especially when I do go to like Comic Cons or different events, where I'm able to connect with people and hear about different challenges that they're even experiencing in certain. It could be in their lives, or it could be even in the industry in general. So, for example, there might be times where I'm run across somebody and I meet somebody, and they may have a child. I work with children as well, adults and children. So
Mhm.
there might be a situation where I meet somebody who has a child who may be on the spectrum, and the parent might be struggling, the child might be struggling, but they might find some type of collective where that child or that adult feels like they are able to kind of be themselves in the environment of like a Comic Con. So that is always a wonderful thing. And then on the flip side of that, the other thing that I might see is toxicity, where you have people who go into extreme depression because of bullying that happens online.
Right.
So there's a flux where there's like these beautiful, wonderful things that happen, and then you have these other sides that are just kind of like the dark side, where you don't always they kind of might be in the blind side of things, where unless you're in the community, you don't really know those things are happening.
That makes sense. So I mean, I love it because like when you mentioned one like the positives from like even from the places that I went up into like Anime Milwaukee, which is like the biggest one in Wisconsin. Um, Absolutely love it. Like it's amazing just to go meet you meet some of the coolest people, I swear, at these conventions. And like it's nice because for me personally, I love seeing people who are able to be themselves.
Yes.
Whether it's cosplay, whether it's not, just being able to be yourself is it's I don't want to say it's amazing, but in a way it kind of is,
It is,
I
right?
love, and since you've been to ones way bigger than I have, so I'm interested when it comes to like something like Comic Con where there's like what thousands, I'm guessing
Hundreds of thousands
hundreds of
sometimes.
thousands. I first I want to know what the experience is like being there, like from your perspective. Like I need to hear that.
It could be sometimes it could be overwhelming. You have to be prepared. I feel like it definitely is a mental thing. You have to be prepared going into it, just because one, depending on the con, it may be a lot of walking involved.
Mhm.
Outside of that, there may be a lot of people. So once again, if you have like social anxieties, sometimes it could be overwhelming for some people who are not necessarily used to being around that many people at one time.
Mhm.
I think a big part of that is like planning, going with the right people, being like having all of the preparations that you need to be there all day, because you're going to be there probably all day.
Right.
With the exception of sometimes, like if people are maybe local, then people might just drop in for a quick second. But if you're like a hardcore fan, then you'll probably be there like all day. And then sometimes, like if it's 2 3 days, you might go 2 or 3 days.
Right.
But the experience is so much fun just because there's so many different things that you can do. I know this past year I went to New York Comic Con, which is one of my favorite things, and I feel like okay, I can't say there's nothing like it, but in a sense, there's nothing like it. I have never been to San Diego Comic Con, which I'm pretty sure is a whole different beast, just because like weather is beautiful all year long, just about. And then when they get a chance to go, like it's pretty much warm outside. Versus when you go to New York Comic Con in October, it's chances are it's probably a little chilly outside.
Mhm.
Um, but it's always amazing to just see so many different cosplayers, their costumes, the effort that they put into the costumes. The other things that you kind of get to do are, I would say, like card demonstrations. So, like if you're into trading card games, They have so many different types of like different setups where you can go and actually learn how to play games like Yu-Gi-Oh. You can learn how to play. Recently, one of the ones that we did was Cookie Run Kingdom, which is like a phone game that they turned into a card game.
Cookie Run Kingdom.
Yeah. And then they have so many other different little sections where people are playing different card games. I think Magic the Gathering is also one of them. So there's so many different opportunities.
Like, because the ones like I've been at, like, and just using my own experience, the ones that I've been at have been, they've been good, but it's like, it's still the local people from Wisconsin. I've never been to New York. I've always wanted to go to New York City. I've heard it's like amazing. Mm-hmm. But I think it's interesting. I mean, also I'm a card player myself, so like I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh player, Magic player at heart.
Okay.
So yeah, so like I think that's really cool to teach people, to get people into the game. But I also, one of the big things I know when it comes to any of them is like meeting some of the bigger, whether it's voice actors, celebrities. Mm-hmm. Have you met some of the people who you've met in your experiences?
So surprisingly, I never really go to like the guest signing, was with the exception of, and this is going to be something so random, but like the writer, not even the writer, the illustrator for My Little Pony. I think that was like my probably most exciting one that I personally got to do, just because I love My Little Pony and it has always been a staple in my life. And now I actually collect the trading cards.
Oh, nice.
So I actually was able to get like an autographed My Little Pony, one out of 100 illustration of one of my favorite characters. So that was really exciting. And then even I would say like in the past, I think experiences, I'm trying to think if there was anybody else that I met. I think that's probably about it. They always have like different people. I think actually it was one of the girls from Power Rangers that recently I saw too at Collecticon.
Okay.
Which is a little different. Have you heard of that one? Mm-mm. Collecticon is specifically for collectors. So it's a big part like Pokemon cards. So I do Pokemon cards as well. So I am a Pokemon card collector. And I'm also a vendor. So when we go to like Collecticon, it's something that they have throughout the United States. I don't know if they do it like outside of the US, but I know they do it throughout the US. It's like a tour almost. Mm-hmm. And with that, they also have a lot of the guest speakers. So you'll find like different people who voice different comics. As far as like all of the anime is just about, like, I know this year they had somebody that was there from Super Mario. Somebody that voiced somebody from Sonic, Inuyasha, Sailor Moon.
Oh wow.
Like all of the classics, just about, even, oh my God, now that I think about it, the guy who sang the song for Pokemon, like the theme song.
Really?
He performed at the
that's awesome.
last Collecticon, yeah.
That's so, because I know the last one I went to, I met, I forgot his name, but he was the voice actor for, I love Borderlands.
Okay.
So Borderlands 3, he played Black from Borderlands 3. But I've also met, have you played Expedition 33?
I have watched people play it. I haven't played it myself yet.
How far in have you watched someone go through the whole game?
Like almost to the end. Like
okay. So you know like the character. I met the actor for Verso.
Okay.
I met him one time. I actually sat and talked to him for like, it's like 45 minutes or something like that. We're talking about like how the prices of like food have gone up. This is like in 2023. So some of the prices of food have gone up from like the McDonald's menu and stuff. And why can't we just get $1 menu back?
Isn't that so wonderful? Like you can just have like normal conversations with them.
I mean, I can only imagine being a voice actor and just hearing the same thing over and over. Like, you're the voice of this, so it's like having a conversation that's like just not about work. Mm-hmm. It's got to be just honestly probably refreshing.
That's something to think about, because actually that is like my, I don't want to say secret like goal, but for this year, that's something that I'm actually working on is voice acting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let's see, you're doing like everything. So
I mean, you got to try everything just to see like what it is that you like. And like, I think if anything is a dream of yours and it's something that is achievable, you should try.
No, it's very, very true. My question also leads to, this is the same with the between the anime and the conventions. Have you ever been to one that's been like kind of disappointing?
Ooh, have I been to one that was disappointing? I probably would say yes. Which one it was, I probably don't even remember the name of it, to be honest with you. Um, so okay, so this is the thing is that not all of the Comic Cons are created equally because you have some that are newer, and because
Mm.
they're newer, they may not have all of the resources or all of the support to get certain things that maybe some of the bigger cons have.
That's fair.
So with that being said, it may not necessarily be like that was their aim. But like for example, if you have certain cons that are bigger on like, okay, well, we may not have that much. We may have like speakers, we may have workshops, but maybe we don't have like the big displays that like you might see from Marvel at New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con. So they may not have like big grand like environments inside. Like things may not be like that environmentally stimulating, other than it just looking like kind of like a hotel space. But there's something for everyone, because in those situations that those particular cons might have like really good parties, but if you're not a partier, then that doesn't really matter to you if that's not what you're going for.
That's true.
Yeah, and some of them might be a little bit more on the wilder side, where it's like I know some of the cons are now doing like, well, the smaller cons anyway are doing like 18 plus events where they might have stuff that is more catered towards adults. Yeah, so it's like it really depends on what you're looking for and what you're going for, because sometimes people just go just to meet up with their friends that they haven't seen, that they might be friends with on the internet, and they've just never seen them in person, and this might be their one time or every year at this particular con they meet up. That's
true. I mean, I've done the same through gaming and like through like the conventions myself. I went to overseas actually for that, to go meet friends and stuff. I went to the UK.
Ooh.
Go meet friends through my Xbox and stuff, and that was dope as hell.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Has there ever been an experience for you?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm not going to age myself too much, but some of my best friends I have met on apps long time ago who are still currently my gaming buddies. That I can honestly say we've pretty much grown up together at this point. We live in different states. We probably even never have met each other in person, but I consider them family. And it like, even as far as like something that was as big as them getting married or me getting married or kids or anything like that, I would consider myself like their family, like where I probably would be like the godmother of their kids, or they would probably be my maid or groom of honor at this point.
That's fair. That's so fair. Like I know I'm the same way. I have like friends like that, because since my wife and I are having a kid, so like they're like, let me know your address right away. I got extra baby clothes. It is, and I think that's what's honestly, it's kind of what makes like the whole nerd culture so cool. Is like, no matter where you are and having those similar interests and meeting people that do become like lifelong, like basically family.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's interesting in my personal opinion or my experience. I've noticed that like some of the people that I've met online that I haven't met yet are closer to me than like the people that I live near. That
is a real thing. It really is.
You know, and I've always wondered, because of that, I don't want to say can that be harmful? Like I've always interested about that, because it's like, you know, I got friends, like I said, that I'm close with, but I'm not that close with, and I live like fucking 20 minutes away. You know, and like as much as I tell people to go get outside every once in a while, it's always interesting to see how people interact, I guess, throughout the world is what I'm getting. You know,
I think you hit a good point with that, because as soon as you said that, at first I was going to say no, I don't think it can be harmful, but at the same time, it depends. I'm honestly going to say it depends, and I will tell you exactly why. In some situations, I feel like as an adult, it's probably not as harmful, but for kids, it probably would be a lot more harmful in that sense. Just because as adults, we have autonomy where we can make choices, we can go and do as we please. Sometimes the friends that we make that are local to us are maybe might be our friends just because they're local. They might be our friend just because of availability sometimes, right? And it's like, just because somebody lives close to you doesn't make them your best friend. It's just somebody that is close to you, literally, and like as far as like distance is concerned. But like some of our best friends might not live in the same town as us. They might not live in the same state. They might not even live in the same country.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, where I would say dangers are like, just to give an example, like kids with Roblox. There's been so many dangerous situations where kids have interacted with people on the internet and they think that they're talking to other kids and they're not talking to other kids.
Right.
And I think that is where sometimes you get into places that are a little murky and a little darker, just because it's like as adults, we have like certain things that might be like, I don't want to say common sense, but in the sense of like, as far as making a rational decision. Like if, for example, me and you talking, like we're literally seeing each other on camera right now. So
Right.
I know you're a real person for the most, right? You could be what do they call it? Like AI, whatever that
Oh
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
now. Like that could be a possibility. But like for the most, like I'm sitting here having a face-to-face with you right now. Whereas there's a lot of kids that will literally talk to people on the internet and they will not, or like in their video game consoles, and they will not have ever like FaceTimed, or maybe sometimes like they don't even know what another kid might look like. Like they could literally be having a conversation with an adult who looks like a kid and they would not know the difference.
Right.
So that's where I think sometimes it gets a little dangerous at.
That's very true. And you also brought up a really good point with the AI itself.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have been, I mean, from what I've, at least from my scene, from my like small bit of research, that do end up starting to make parasocial relationships with AI itself.
Oh yeah.
And with kids especially, that's extremely scary. And I don't know if you've had that through your experience, through your years of the in the mental health field. Have you seen that, like a rise of more of that?
I think that that's something that's still fairly new. I haven't had too many clients really talk to me anything about anything like that for the most, but like I do know just like some of my peers in general who will use like AI, like ChatGPT, to like ask questions to about like, like making the right decision, or like maybe as far as like even as I'm trying to think of the word I would use, but like in a sense, like as added support when they are not speaking to their therapist. Like if they have something that they might want to ask their therapist, but maybe they only see their therapist once a month, they may use ChatGPT to kind of like ask it questions about like, like, is this normal? Like, should I be feeling like this? Like what should I do about my feelings right now? So there are those type of situations that do happen. But as far as like, I will say I saw this recently. There was an advertisement for a event that was happening for an AI date dinner, where you could go to a dinner and you would be like pretty much like matched with a AI companion. And I thought that was so strange.
I
But
don't
at
know
this
how I feel about that.
I thought it was strange, but at the same time, strange, wonderful. It's like, there's something for everyone. And at the end
Right.
of the day, hypothetically speaking, and I think Black Mirror has done a really good job of having us look at perspective when it comes to like choices and decision making when technology is involved. Because let's just say, for example, you watch Black Mirror.
I have not. I know of Black Mirror, and I have Netflix. Like I
Okay.
know I'm going to. I'm terrible at it. Terrible.
Okay, but look, you can pick and choose like the episodes you want to watch. Like if you feel like something stands out to you, you can definitely watch just those episodes, because there's some episodes where I'll be like, I don't think I'm interested in this one. But I think Black Mirror has.
Series, kind of.
You said which one?
It's like an anthology series, of just kind of like
each episode is different.
Okay, cool.
They're not connected at all.
Good.
There might be like, I think maybe there was one episode that was connected to a movie that they kind of did, but that was it. But for the most, each episode is very different, but they all touch on different things that we kind of like experience in the human design, I would say. as far as technology is concerned. And this is like not necessarily like in the now. It's like more so like future. Like if anything was possible, like the different things that could happen.
Like a big old what if.
Yeah, like the what ifs of that. And I think one of the interesting things in a couple of different episodes was like the concept of I'm trying to think. There was this one episode, and I'm trying to remember what it was called. But either way, what it was about was two girls meet each other in like a virtual world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think in the beginning, if you know, I don't think you know that you don't know that they're like not real people in the beginning.
Okay.
And they keep meeting up at different locations, like in this world. And then come to find out, they're both on like life, like pretty much in hospice.
Oh, wow.
Like dying.
Mm-hmm.
And their literally like last dying wish was to be like with each other forever, like in the virtual worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was like such a emotional one that it was just kind of like, it's crazy because it's like you wouldn't expect. I think thinking about it, like let's just say if somebody was brain dead but they're like, you know, not brain dead but like in a coma, but they still have brain activity, people keep them alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're in a hospital, they're still breathing and things like that, maybe barely, but they're still conscious in some way, even if it's not like awake. And if that person was maybe in their brain like lonely or something like that because they can't communicate with the outside world, but if there was a way to connect them to a program where they can actually go into this virtual reality world and actually live out the life that they can't live because their physical body is not able, I think that would be an amazing thing, you know, like for somebody to be able to experience, especially at the last leg of life care.
Right.
So especially certain like things like that would be amazing.
Like senior citizens, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, one of the two people that fell in love with each other, one of them was a senior citizen.
Yeah, like I could easily see that. That sounds. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds like if that's our future, we're getting a lot closer to Digimon. But no, I think that's really cool. I think, and to some extent, because I do see. I mean, I work with seniors, so like, not this place I work at now, but one of the last ones I had. One of the seniors did have a virtual reality. They had one of the MetaQuest, and so they would use the MetaQuest quite a bit. They would either go to some place and just watch it off of YouTube off there, you know, or like they'd be like flying or, you know, flying and like flying over, like seeing like the pyramids or whatever. And it was just like, I'm getting a little bit emotional just thinking about it, because I think it's something really beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
Especially for seniors who don't have a whole lot of time left.
Yeah. And sometimes they don't have family either, you know,
no,
like,
they don't.
Yeah.
And like I would, like, personally, I think it'd be really cool if like every place had. I mean, I'm not telling you to go buy like 30 MetaQuests, but like, just to have one or two every once in a while that people could either borrow out for a little bit.
I think it would be possible. I mean, in a sense, like, because usually when you buy like in a big amount, they normally give you like a discount. But I think also like if there was a program developed, that also makes it a little bit more cost effective, because then that's something that could be initiated at different places. And I can't see them not wanting to do something like that. I think the other side to that would be what kind of is like going on with Neuralink, which is like, I feel like it's one of those things that we don't hear that much about, but like their primary testing is for people who have disabilities.
Okay.
So let's just say if somebody doesn't have ability to move their arms, like if you're quadriplegic or anything and you don't have access of being able to move, like you're maybe a veteran who has lost an arm or two or whatever, like whatever your disability is that allows you to not have movement, you're able to have the Neuralink implanted, so that way you can do things like as far as like play video games or use a computer or make a phone call. And I think that even as far as senior citizens is concerned, that they kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to technology, because it came out so much later in their lives that they didn't really have a chance to kind of adapt. So a lot of them don't even know how to use a smartphone or use a smart TV for that matter.
Right.
So yet alone being able to use an Oculus or a Meta Quest 3 to kind of go out into the world and see things that they've never seen before from a different point of view is amazing.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely agree. And I think like, I mean, for me, I thought it was cool when I had it, but I couldn't imagine like just being able just to sit there and just watch. And it'd be honestly a lot more immersive of an experience, because a lot of them, I mean, the rest of your life is pretty much just sitting in a chair. Like they sit in a chair, they watch TV. Some of them will just watch the news or whatever daytime shit comes on. I don't even know what comes on daytime anymore. Days of Our Lives still going. Like
yes. The soaps are still going.
They're never gonna. They're only gonna go after like this last generation goes. I swear.
I think so. I agree with that because we're not watching it.
No, the only one that's not is like Hallmark. Like working.
Oh, you said Hallmark?
Hallmark, yeah.
I can agree with that. I love a good Hallmark movie.
I was, every time I go and I work with seniors, there's at least like one or two of them that are always watching like Hallmark. It's just Hallmark all day.
Hallmark has some really wholesome TV.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I was like watching it and I'm like, damn, like, okay, I can see why you guys want it. Like there's no conflict. Their conflict is very superficial. But it is kind of, it's one of those where I'm like, man, I could probably watch maybe one movie and I'd be done. Oh. Like, I need my drama. Like I need something to happen.
I got you. Well, sometimes it might be like more so comedy drama. I would feel like only because there's like this one show. I don't even know if it's on Hallmark, but for some reason I feel like it might be. There was a show called The Good Witch.
Okay. Oh.
And she always had. It was kind of funny where she would always have like drama going on in the little area that she lived in, and she had it was like a mayor of the town that was like annoying, and she would always like try to find things to like throw a monkey wrench in whatever her plan was, but yet they would always end up having to go back to needing her to help them save whatever it was that was going on.
Oh, that's okay.
So you have those like little sparks of drama in some of those Hallmark shows too.
That'd be kind of okay. I can see that.
Or like the country western ones too, I guess.
Oh yeah, some of them. Yeah, some of them are like, I think they're the romance ones always kind of crack me up because they are, at least in my opinion, they are very much the same formula. Like Hallmark has the formula down.
I just had this conversation with somebody about the Christmas movies because it follows a formula all the time. Like it's very predictable, and it's like it's always either somebody is returning back to their old like neighborhood where they have like moved away and now they're coming back. It could be somebody that's like on a business trip someplace in a little small quaint village, and then their car breaks down and they need help, and then somebody pulls up with a tow truck. There is a very like, it is a very like consistent formula, very consistent, specifically holiday movies, Christmas specifically.
Yep. I would agree with that. I think for a lot of people, especially seniors who watch it, like it's so, because it's so predictable, they don't have to think about it.
Nope.
They just are like, okay, this is, and they're all the same. It's like, Christmas at midnight, or like romance during the snowstorm, or like
snow at the farm.
Yeah. They're about as formulaic as like, your average COD game. So like but one thing I do want to bring up, and I thought this was kind of interesting because I've noticed, I've been paying attention. I've noticed the anime posters in the back all over, and I'm like, okay. So first off, I want to ask, like, some of your favorite, are those all your favorite anime in the back though? Although except for one, I don't know what it is.
Some of them are, and some of them aren't necessarily. Like I have my favorites, and I feel like even now, like I'm still watching like current animes, and like I find ones now even that I like, and like I love this one. I feel like there's always like the classics, and classics will always be classics. But then there's ones that sometimes just hit a certain like emotion that is just kind of like, yeah, I probably didn't see that coming.
That's fair. So like, what do you like? I'm interested. Like, what are you watching now?
Okay, so I will tell you like some of my favorites, and then I'll tell you currently what I'm watching. So there is, and some of them I probably cannot say the name of it for my life, which I probably do an absolute terrible job at. But I love Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter made me cry. Demon Slayer, I love. I've gone to the movie theaters to go see it every time the new movies come out, which is just pretty much all the episodes combined. Let's see what else. One of the very first ones that I ever watched that probably got, actually, I probably would say my top 3 that probably really got me into anime would be Revolutionary Girl Utena, which is actually created by the same house that made Sailor Moon, which is another one of my favorites. And then Inuyasha. I used to, like, as a kid, fall asleep to Inuyasha like every night, just about.
I think that's what I remember. Yeah, I actually would agree with that, because I think that's what I remember Inuyasha, because I never actually fully like watched the series from start to finish, but I do remember always like seeing Inuyasha be like the last show I see before I pass out.
Yes, it was. I feel like for that reason, that show was like a comfort show for me at this point. And then they have it's not new, but after Inuyasha, like some years later, they made a separate series that is about his daughter.
Okay.
And then her cousins, pretty much.
Was that good too? Because I don't think that lasted as long.
No, it didn't. It was like 2 seasons.
Okay.
But it's really, really, to me, it was really good. And then now there is one that is called, I think, Gacha Kuda. I think that's what it's called. So good. So good. One of my favorites right now.
Dan, really good things.
You like that one?
It's on my list. I'm terrible at watching anime, but like once I get hooked on one, that's it. So I'm probably gonna end up getting Crunchyroll pretty soon, so I can like start watching these ones, because I feel like I'm missing out.
I'm telling you, there's so many good ones. I just started watching Kasumi Kami, I think, this week, which is really good. And then I absolutely adore and love Apothecary Diaries. I didn't think that would be like the type of series that I would actually enjoy, but I actually love like a good mystery. She's like a little detective, but there's also like a smidget of romance in there a little bit. A lot of drama. I love
Apothecary Diaries. My wife is not. It's funny. My wife is like not an anime person, but because she's a pharmacist and she saw it, and she was like, we're like both hooked on it. Like I've been slowly getting her into like anime more and more.
Okay, I understand her. I get her 100%, because Apothecary Diaries had me in a chokehold. I think I binge watched that.
Oh yeah, like I think the main character is that Mao Mao has become one of my like favorite characters just in general. I think
they're working on a live action.
There's a live action?
They're working on it.
I mean, that's one that I can see. Is it like over in Japan working on live action, or are we doing it over here?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be like, I don't know if it's Americanized or like, as far as like, well, I don't want to say Americanized, but in English with English actors, I don't know. But I'm excited. I think it's probably going to be like how they did One Piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think I didn't think the live action was that bad.
I didn't think it was bad either. And I feel like it's interesting that we're in such a space where it's like, sometimes we have to kind of like creep around saying we like something because everybody else is like, yeah, it was trash. And it's just like, if you like it, you like it. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I think it's because I just didn't think I was going to. Like, if you told me like, even like, 5 years ago, hey, a live action One Piece, you're looking like, how are you going to pull that off? But I'm very surprised. I was actually very surprised that Netflix was able to pull it off, especially after the string of anime movies that we have had in the past.
Which one do you feel like is probably one of like the worst live action ones?
I cannot stand Death Note.
I knew you were going to say that.
I would rather watch Dragon Ball Evolution over Death Note. Like, I am not even kidding. there's something about Dragon Ball Evolution that I love it. Like I do. It's so corny. It's so bad, but it's something. I don't know. It's just like an enjoyable piece of shit movie. But Death Note just felt kind of disrespectful.
I know what you mean. There's horror movies that I feel that way about. That they're so bad, but it's like at the same time it might be completely cheesy, corny, but it's like it's actually pretty good. Like for the
Terrifiers, kind of.
I have not been able to bring myself to watch Terrifier. It's because it's a gore, like more gory, and I'm not really into gore. It's like that. I'm trying to think what other movies like Saw. I can't really watch. Hostel. I can't really watch. But I did start watching. I think it's what is it called? Sweet Home, which is a K drama. It's like a K drama.
Oh yeah.
Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those ones I've watched, like the Korean films or series. Like I love those. Those I absolutely love. And there are some ones that are like they have a smidge of like. In fact, I can think of another show. Actually, it's not horror, but it's kind of comedy more so. There's a Korean show called Chicken Nugget where a guy's girlfriend gets turned into a chicken nugget, and he's trying to figure out how to turn her back.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that. Like I have no choice but to watch that.
And it's like one of those things where it's like so corny, but it's actually like kind of like good. Like,
No, that's chicken nugget. Yeah, is that on Netflix?
it is.
Well, that's I'm doing that during my weekend now, so I'm like, I'll have to report back and be like, I have watched Chicken Nugget. I don't know how I feel about this.
And also, did you say your wife or girlfriend?
My wife.
Your wife. If she likes Apothecary Diaries, there's another Korean series called, I think it's called Bon Appetit, Your Highness, or something like that. That one is really good. If she likes that, she'll like that show because it's about this girl who gets transported back in time. She's a famous chef. She gets transported back in time, and then she goes to like one of the dynasties where she now is. They're thinking she's like she's an enemy in a sense because they just found her like looking weird, like compared to like how they look.
Right.
And she is now being forced to be the cook for the king. And she has to like, she's bringing back all of these like recipes that she uses in modern time back to those days. And they're like, where is she getting these recipes from? And she knows also like how to like his, like, let's just say like a mother-in-law had some type of like health condition and she was able to whip up like something that like a soup that was like good for her health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely have to watch that one. I know the one I watched, we both ended up watching. I started it, but then I reset it. Was The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity.
Oh, I didn't see that one. That sounds good.
That's a newer one on there too. I loved it. It's about, it's like it's like the high kind of like high school ones where they're from different schools. She's from this really like preppy school that's all girls, and they hate the other school that's mainly all boys, and like it's more of a public school, and like their schools are right next to each other for some reason. I don't know. Like I bypass that, but it's a very cute show.
Okay.
And it's only 13 episodes. I hope it gets a second season. And like I loved it. I've been trying to branch out into more stuff. Like I feel like, after a while, like for me, for a long time, it was just sitting in that shonen region.
Okay.
It was sitting in the shonens, the My Heroes, and all that. And I was like, yo, I got to find something new.
Okay.
So between that, but then I end up going back to like Records of Ragnarok.
That was really good too. That actually surprised me. I didn't know.
I love it.
I think that was a show that caught me off guard about me liking it because I didn't think I would be into something like that. But I actually really, really was looking forward to this last season. But then it was like, I feel like the last season kind of let me down just a tad bit with some of the battles compared to
Which ones? I'm interested. I'm super interested. Like I love this
Tesla.
Tesla's the one that really okay.
That episode kind of like annoyed me a little bit. It was just kind of like dragged on because it was like he just the power of science did to death just about. And I feel like in comparison to some of the other fights that they had, not even just this season, but like the prior seasons, it just was like a dragged out fight of like a whole bunch of nothing happening and just them talking back and forth about science.
Okay, interesting. Like because I felt the one that was usually I'm probably in the common version, but it was King Leonidas versus Apollo.
Okay.
And I thought it was really interesting. So the voice actor for King Leonidas, I believe, is the same voice actor as Solid Snake.
Okay.
So I thought that was like, okay, that's instantly cool. And like I loved like his design and all that, but I was just like, I don't know. I think I didn't feel like much for like the stakes wise.
Okay.
And like I liked his shield. I loved his Valkyrie that he had with. I think the only thing with Apollo, the thing that really did kind of bother me is that he deflected the one arrow and it hit Apollo in the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got back up, and I was like, yo, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like if that
Like
was
what just happened?
right, because then I found out in the manga it actually got him in the arm.
Okay.
Because it was pretty much like a one-sided SmackDown, which I pretty much assumed it would be a one-sided ass whooping.
Because I think King Leonidas, he had the feisty Valkyrie, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was ready to throw down with him right off the bat, and that's why they were so good. I thought like Nikola Tesla's I thought was interesting.
I liked his Valkyrie. I just felt like
I love that battle armor.
His armor was cool too. It was just that it just was. I felt like it was so dragged out. He kept creating that box that was like trap. It was supposed to trap the other person, but it was just kind of like at the same time it wasn't that effective. And he was so impressed by all of the moves that the other person was doing. It didn't really feel like a battle. It felt like it didn't feel like it just didn't feel like the level of the other battles that we saw.
I think that especially when you started season 3 with King Shi Wong versus Hades,
yes,
that one was just like by far I think it was the best fight of the series. And I think going from there to Teslas, I like overall while I did really enjoy Teslas. I really enjoy Teslas. I think my only that I do have that bit of a gripe with it is that his Grammatica zone was like it's supposed to trap the gods, but it doesn't do anything. It's all for like looks.
Yeah.
I was happy though that they took a shot at Thomas Edison.
I like that too, and I find it funny because Thomas Edison is from New Jersey.
Yeah, I love that fact that Galileo and like all of the other ones in there, Edison, and I thought that was cool that they took a shot at Thomas Edison for that, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what? I like you guys just a little bit more.
They had Einstein in the audience.
Yeah, and I like when they bring in the audience and stuff, and I think it was just it was an interesting fight. Like the fight itself can be a little boring, but I'm also glad with season 3 because it felt like it actually progressed the story forward.
Yeah.
Like for the first 2 seasons, I'm loving it, but there didn't feel like there was much.
Yeah.
Except for Jack the Ripper's fight.
That was one that I was like, I felt conflicted.
Really?
I felt conflicted about that one just because it was like, are we rooting for like a serial killer here?
That's fair.
Like that's what we have going for mankind right now.
And I think that's what I loved about it too. Oh, also I think I love the fact that sorry, I saw that thing being like, you're not fooling us with that wig. I'm talking to you, fish. Like, sorry, I gotta let people know.
Okay.
But I think what I loved about it was the fact that I felt like I was always guessing to see what his Volander was. Like first it was like, okay, it's the pouch. No, it's not the pouch. It's like, it's like the knives he has. No, it's not the knives. And then you find it's the gloves.
Yeah.
And I was like, he can turn anything. And I'm like, that is so genius, especially for a person like against Hercules, who is just such a straightforward kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I love how it changed him. Like,
absolutely.
I mean, Jack the Ripper straight up changes after that fight. Like he is, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because I don't feel like he's definitely a villain. I mean, yeah, it's Jack the Ripper. Like I'm gonna tell you that, but I like how they gave him a bit of like his backstory. You can be like, yeah, I can feel for it, but like,
yeah,
you're still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So overall, I think Records of Ragnarok is one of those shows that I've been enjoying more. And like I said, now that ending with season 3, because Buddha's fight was one that I love. I love Buddha.
That was one of my favorite ones too, and I think that's why it also, in comparison to like the Nicholas Tesla one, it was just kind of like, what are we doing here?
And I think it's just, I also just love Buddha. Like he's really just that I just do whatever I want kind of thing. And watching him being ready to square up against Odin had me like on the edge of my seat. And then I saw like Beelzebub jumps in right at the end, and he's like, okay, I'm interested too. Yeah. And I'm like, finally, we have an actual plot.
Yeah.
Like I'm stoked for that one. I didn't think I'd be stoked for it. but I also see the One Piece as well. And are you caught up with One Piece?
No. You know what? The way I have to watch, well, better yet, the way I prefer to watch One Piece is when they do those movies and put them all together in one sitting.
Mm,
I prefer that.
that's that's definitely. I've heard that they are doing a like a basically a Dragon Ball Z Kai, I guess,
Okay.
of it. So like cutting down on the fillers and all that to keep them more streamlined. Which would I mean that's still like 700 something episodes, I bet.
Okay.
Like it's still I think it's nice that when they do that. I wish Naruto would have that.
Hmm. I can
Like
understand that.
like because I feel like I like Naruto. I'm a big fan of Naruto. It's one of the first that was the anime that got me into it. And that's also a question I was gonna ask was what anime really got you into being a fan itself.
Um, oof. And that's where I would say that got me deep. Like I said, Inuyasha, Sailor Moon technically was the first one I ever watched. Inuyasha was like the first one that I was like, I actually am really deeply invested in the storyline. But I feel like Revolutionary Girl Utena was the one that like hooked me and reeled me in and was like, yeah, I think I really, really like anime.
Was that a 90s? Was that a 90s show then?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. It
I was
definitely
saying like
is.
because Inuyasha I think was 80s, 90s. Sailor Moon was the same way. So
Yeah, it came out after Sailor Moon, so it definitely was the 90s.
okay. I'll definitely have to go. Maybe I will go check it out because I have been trying also to watch older shows. Like I watched Berserk for the first time,
Okay,
and
I
I
haven't seen
loved
that
it.
one.
Like I loved it. I mean, I know it's like a legendary series, so I was like, I need to watch it at some point.
Okay.
But one thing I'm also really interested in when it comes to because I've like I said, I've seen your streams, and your streams are straight positivity. Like I do, I love it. It's great. Um, my first question is, how the hell do you find the energy for it? Oh, because like, I have only about like an hour and two before I'm already like, all right, yeah, I'm sick of y'all. But and two, the question is like, what got you into starting to really want to stream?
So what got me really into streaming? And I think in the beginning when I first started doing it, I was like a little hesitant just because I was like nervous. I had a lot of anxiety about it just because I'm like, like, people aren't gonna want to like listen to me. I mean, I'm a therapist, so people listen to me in therapy all the time, but as far as like when it comes to video games or talking about things that I actually enjoy, I think it was a matter of kind of like stepping outside of myself for a second there and just kind of being like, there's other people that are into the same things that I'm into, or other people that maybe need to hear a certain, thing that day, which is like, you don't have to be in a toxic, negative space. You don't have to be, with a bunch of, what do you call them? Like the sweaty players where people are just negative and just nasty all day, because there are a
Right.
lot of people that are extremely miserable. I mean, and from a mental health perspective, rightfully so, they've probably been through some things. So it's like the other side of me has to look at it from that place. But I would I would say as a human, it's like sometimes it's like cut me a break. Like you don't have to be such a just a terrible, nasty person. But
Right.
at the same time, because there's people like that, there are also people that are like me that are just kind of like, yeah, let's spread some positivity. Like, how's your day going?
Mhm.
Sometimes just asking somebody something that simple can
It really,
change somebody's day. Like, especially like when you were talking about like senior citizens, there are a lot of people that go into depression just because they don't have somebody to talk to,
right.
or somebody that is saying something that is nice to them.
Right.
And sometimes that just makes a difference in somebody's life. Even as far as like, I think one of the bigger things that I love so much about streaming now is the community behind it. Because that's something I have been talking about for a very long time. It's just like, yo, community is so important. Like we need community.
Mhm.
Especially just like with everything that's going on in the world today. Even when you think about, and I was thinking about this movie earlier, just because when we were talking about technology and like the the Oculus and everything, or the MetaQuest, that Ready Player One makes
Ah,
me think about that too, because it's like you had these people that lived in different places, they had never met outside of their game, but they all came together for this, this journey, this cause,
mhm.
to work together to achieve something. And I feel like a lot of times the communities that we have, as far as like when it comes to gaming or anything, I play Dungeons and Dragons as well. So even with that, it's like they're almost like family. They become
Right.
like family. They don't start off that way. They start off as strangers, but then they become family. And sometimes you just need even a chance to kind of break away from your everyday life, whether it be like your job, which may be extremely stressful, or you may have like family that are completely like not, they don't really understand you, or that you don't have like maybe a loving relationship at home. There's so many different situations where sometimes our gaming community or our whichever type of experience you choose, whether it be like a Dungeons and Dragons, because that's not, I mean, it's gaming technically, but
Right.
at the same time, it's not really like, it's not virtual gaming. It's not like you have to have a console or a phone or anything. You can meet up with your people in person and just like, you know, like just kick it and like roll some dice and just live out this adventure. And I think that that is the big thing that kind of like pushed me towards it, was even as far as like Dungeons and Dragons, like last year, I think it was last year, or I think it was last year at this time. Actually it was 2 years ago now that I think about it. I was living in my other apartment. I posed a question out to TikTok and was just like, hey, I've really had an interest in learning about Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't know anybody that plays this game. Like what is it, what's something that you should probably know, like if you're interested in like getting into it? Like I think it might be my thing, but like how do you know? And then I had this outpouring of like people reaching out to me, and then it was like getting shared to like hundreds and thousands of people, where people are now commenting and like reposting it and then stitching it and like giving advice and like providing support, inviting me to like online discords and groups. And it was just kind of like, wow, like this is crazy. Like I wasn't expecting such an outreach from that, especially off of TikTok, because I wasn't even really using TikTok like that at that point.
Right.
And then after that, I decided to use like one of my other social media accounts on Threads to find a group. Like I decided to just make a group myself. And that ended up being like, we're still a running group now. We meet like once a month, but now I'm like now branching off to like about to start another Dungeons and Dragons group with some of my friends off of TikTok now. So it's just like really crazy how sometimes like you really end up meeting people that are like family off of social media.
Right. That sounds awesome. And I think I kind of done the same. So like I feel that. I also won D&D. So what's your character?
So okay. So my character, her name is Sabina Leclerc. She is a paladin cleric. She's a half elf, half human. She has a wolf dog named Cinder. She was actually like her backstory. She was born to druids, but she was raised by clerics.
Okay.
So right now she just left like a cleric, kind of like a monastery where she is kind of like our storyline is like on a beach, like in an island. So some characters washed up on a boat, and now we are looking for like the jewel talk right now. We're on this crazy adventure. We just left a jungle disco.
A jungle disco.
Yes, a jungle disco. And it is a wild ride just because it's like the other players, with the exception of our DM, are all new players too. So we're all just kind of like getting comfortable and like building our story and like leveling up together. And it's just it's so fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So do you go like do you actually do the whole cosplay, go all into it? Like
I haven't yet. I haven't yet. I really haven't. And it's like I really wanted to like actually like build out her character. Like I have pictures of what she looks like.
Right.
But it's like I really wanted to like actually build her costume and maybe do that at like the Ren Fair next year, because this year I went to the Ren Fair for the first time in New York.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking forward to maybe doing that next year at the Ren Fair.
That's really cool. I love that. Like I've played only D&D like a couple times. And I'd have to go look on D&D Beyond. I wanted to do, so we were supposed to do it with a group of friends of mine. And so we were doing our own homebrew. And he's like, well, I want to make a character based off of mimics. And he was like, well, how are you going to do that? And I was like, oh, it's simple. I'm like, but it does require a little bit of rule breaking.
Okay.
Rule breaking, I'd say, but that's because I would have to stop treating mimics as just monsters and treat them as animals.
Oh.
And he was like, why? And I was like, because my character tames mimics.
A mimic tamer. That is very interesting. So it's like, so okay, let me just ask, like in this concept of this design, are the mimics, do they come from like a family of mimics? Are they like how are they, have you
Yes.
thought about how they're born?
Yeah, I have so mine was that my character is a tiefling, I believe, that ran
I
away
love
from
tieflings.
I do, yeah. He ran away from a very abusive orphanage into on the outskirts of this town. And on the outskirts of this town is this place called the White Spore Forest. And he runs from there. Nobody, like anybody who goes there doesn't come back because it's just
Hmm.
littered with monsters. People try to go to see what it's like. It's basically unexplorable. And as he runs out there into this White Spore Forest, and I had it like set up like as if like this forest was like, it was like weird, almost like, like dandelions and all that other kind. They just, but it's weird because it emits like this strange glowing light. It's never dark here. Like,
Okay.
and so the place is basically flooded with mimics of all over. It could be rocks, the trees themselves could be, and he gets saved by this person who is basically like one of the protectors of it. And
Mhm.
what happens is that he takes in like children from this orphanage, and he has a group of them and he trains them all to basically, he gives you like a mimic as like a partner.
Aw.
And so him and this mimic, and the mimics, like the one I have is I believe I had it as like a chess thing. Is his name was like Migi. And so my character, whose name I just cannot think off the top of my head right now, but like him and Migi both like pretty much team up, and his goal is to find and save mimics.
Oh my goodness. I love this storyline. This is creative. And see,
Yeah.
this is what makes see, this is Strange Wonderful right here.
And I
This is
love it.
exactly Strange Wonderful.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact. So like I was like, he's like, oh, so how is it gonna work? And I'm like, well, the thing is that when like we have like level. I mean, there's different levels to mimics. So like there's smaller mimics and higher mimics. I have a chance to like roll whatever, I don't know, whatever you want to choose, but I was like roll, and let's say I have a chance to tame one. Well, that mimic becomes an item that I can use. Obviously, the higher the mimic is, the like the more difficult it's going to be.
Okay.
So if it's like, yeah, if it's like a high level like mimic or something like that, I might not be able to because it's just too much.
That kind of makes me think about Pokemon a little bit. Like
Yeah,
you have to catch it, but like if it's too high level, you might not actually be able to achieve that.
yeah. So it was really fun to work on. So like my character had two mimics. One was it's a pouch, and so no one can put their hands in because if someone else puts their hands in, it'll bite them.
Okay.
And then the other one is this like one of like a vest thing that he wears. And so the mimic just kind of it's always next to him. And so if someone tries to get close, it'll throw its tongue out and then it'll pull it in.
Okay.
So, and then the only one I could think of being like class wise would be like a druid. The
Okay.
druid made the most sense.
And that's what it makes me think of. I love a good druid. Is that, in general, it's like you're a friend of nature. And it's like even like in that concept of things, like even beasts are friends. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just depends on, the level of respect that you have for it.
Yeah. And I don't remember even what I saw. It was like something, I think it was like some dude online who talks about like it, and someone asked a question about it. And I was like, dude, that looks so cool. Like, I think taking an enemy that usually people don't think about, you know,
Mhm.
and then make it into something different. Well, it just sound pretty, I don't know, it sounds dope as hell. So,
Yeah.
but it's been really fun to work on. And you said you've been doing it so how long have you been with your group then?
For a year now.
Oh wow,
For a year. We meet once a month with this group.
that's fun as hell though. So like, are you guys from like all over then? Like all over? Just
Yeah, like
online
I
now?
have one friend that person is from New York. Somebody else is in New Jersey. So two of us are from New Jersey, and then somebody else is like in California.
Oh wow. That's the fact that y'all can like still make the time, because I've heard of people who've been like doing this for like decades,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't think I've even had friends that long, but but it's super cool. Like So like I'm guessing y'all are pretty decently high leveled now. Like if you had some pretty dope adventures, like I want to hear like you guys got like in like a really big boss fight or something.
Trying to think. There was some okay, so the jungle disco that we just came out of, only because it's like fresh in my mind right now. There was some interesting things. Like I think one of my one of my girlfriends in the game who is she's like a warrior. She's like a barbarian kind in a sense. She got kidnapped in the game in the game, and we had to like go rescue her.
That'd be fun.
So there was that. Oh my God. Even as far as creativity is concerned, like I used a blanket to like get rid of some bats that were like flying and they were like attacking us. And that was like, I remember the DM was just like, "You're going to use your blanket?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to use my blanket. Can I do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can use your blanket." Even like as far as like trying to like, I mean, we're girls, so like certain things, I think that's also the thing is that you get to customize your game however you see fit. We needed like somebody's clothes got stolen, so I had to make I decided to make new clothes from like something that was like stolen from somebody else. I just unknown skill unlocked. Everybody was like, "Didn't know she had that skill, but okay."
I love that. As long as I roll high enough.
Yeah, just those fun things. We had a dragon that became an ally in a sense. Who I don't think the DM saw that coming, that we were going to befriend the dragon and the dragon was going to go on part of the journey with us. So we've been throwing like a lot of curveballs at the DM, and he's been rolling with them, and I love that for him.
That sounds like a lot. And like with D&D, because I know, I mean, you were playing Baldur's Gate 3 last night, I believe, as well. It looked like you're pretty far into game 2.
Yeah.
Like, so do you like that one just as much as like with the normal D&D? Like the differences between the two. Do you play that like with other people?
I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 has helped me understand so much more about Dungeons and Dragons. It has helped me understand. It's helped me visualize like what certain cantrips look like. Because at first it was like, what the hell is a cantrip? Like, what is that? Right. Certain abilities that it would be like, well, what is that? Like, what is it? Thermatagy? I don't know if I'm saying that right or not. Okay, well, I think it's thaumaturgy. It's like, I don't even think it's an ER. It's a THAMAUT something. But even something like that, it was like, well, what is that? Like, you see it in D&D Beyond. But then it's like, well, what does that look like? And then I think that was something else that the DM would always ask, like, well, when she casts this spell, what does it look like? And they'd be like, well, what can it look like? But playing Baldur's Gate 3, it's like it helps me visualize like a lot of the abilities of what certain things look like, even from the characters that they have. Like Lizelle has certain key things that she does, like when she does her like healing ability for herself. Karlak has certain things that are about her that, even as far as being a barbarian fighter, like what that looks like when she fights, even as far as like spell casting, what that may look like, especially if you add in that maybe a character might be a bard, what that may look like when somebody like strums their lyre or if they play the flute. I did a 1-to-1 game where I was a bard and I had a traveling DJ booth in that game. What? A magical traveling DJ booth. That's and awesome. It was just like, like I said, the game has helped me kind of like visualize like what certain things that my character might do, what the possibilities are. And then also as far as understanding space wise, like on like distance, like when it comes to movement and things like that, it makes me realize what that looks like, even as far as like flight. Right. Because maybe you might not consider that your character might have flight. Then when you start picking your domains, I think in the beginning I was a little intimidated just by picking my own domain. But like if you're doing it in Baldur's Gate, then you kind of have a little bit of an idea what that might look like. For example, like the war domain or the death domain, or I think even the opposite of death might be, there's something that's similar to death that's not death. it's connected more so to necromancy.
Okay.
I can't think of what that one is, but you might decide to be a light domain and have like light, like more so like a light smite ability. So there's all different types of like capabilities that your character can have, and then you can like do subclasses where now you can really get funky with it. And I think that is like so cool.
That does sound like. I mean, I don't. So I have only gotten to like the second part. Like I have never actually fully finished it, and I've been keep
Of
trying.
BG3?
Yeah, I've tried it multiple times, and I'm like 2026, where I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to beat it.
You gotta lock in. You gotta lock into the game.
Oh, I know. I need to so bad, and
Because the
like,
one that I'm doing with on TikTok is actually my second run. My first run is actually I'm at the very end where I'm battling the Elder Brain. And I just have not been able to like sit down and like literally just complete that because that is a beast of itself.
oh, I can imagine. I mean,
Yeah,
final boss,
it's
right?
a beast. Huh?
Well, final boss, right?
Yeah, final boss.
Yeah, no.
That is a crazy fight. And it's like if you sit there for like an hour doing that fight and then you don't win, it just destroys a little piece of you every time.
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm a fan of the XCOM series, and I love those. But like, every time my character misses, and I watch them just slowly take out my characters, I just kind of sit there and I just stare with the most like emotionless face possible.
It takes a piece of your soul every time. It never fails.
Especially when it's someone like important,
Yeah.
you know, and you're like, oh, there goes my sniper. Like, this is great.
That's Historion in my game. He's almost like, I think I have him as a sharpshooter. He's definitely a rogue. But and honestly, that is also where TikTok has come into play at as far as like community is concerned, because people have joined my lives that play BG3 that I didn't think that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to end up being like my main thing that I did on stream. But the community has been so supportive and like even helpful as far as like, let's just say there might be like a special weapon that is like in this cave someplace that nobody that you know has even found this thing. But this one person that pops up in your TikTok is like, hey, did you get that weapon out of the cave? Like, what are you talking about? And now they're walking you through how to find it. And it's helping other people because other people are like, I did not know that was there. Now next time you go back to the game, you're going to be like, I'm going to explore a little bit more. I'm going to go check out every little nook and cranny now because there's stuff like literally hidden everywhere. And even with that, and I'm thinking about one specific person that has been so helpful in walking me through the game that is now a part of my community. He said he hasn't even finished any of his like chapters, like any of the he said he has played maybe like a total of like, let's just say maybe 200 hours, I think. My final game is like 457, I think, right now. He hasn't even gotten that far, and he's found so much more than I have in the beginning part of my game.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, I just don't see. And he's like, because I start over every time.
Oh.
So he said he had like 6 different maybe campaigns started. And I'm just like, I just don't see how. Like, you've literally found so much in this short amount of time.
Lock in just the one and just finish it. It's kind of how I felt with Elden Ring.
Okay.
The first time I played it, I love Elden Ring. I think it's great. But there was so much I felt like at the time I was missing. And even now I even look, and every once in a while I look up and they're like, well, you know, chest you might have missed or whatever. And I'm like, I don't have that weapon. I don't have that weapon. So my goal is to go back through and collect every single weapon they have. Most of the weapons, because some of them have like a 0.5 drop rate, and I don't have the time to just sit there.
I love that.
And just back and forth. You know, and I love it. I love Elden Ring with a passion. But it does remind me like of just like you mentioned with exploring every nook and cranny, trying to find every little thing. I absolutely I adore it. I'm a sucker for it. It apparently just doesn't happen with Baldur's Gate. I don't know. I don't know why.
And I think it's interesting too with Baldur's Gate 3 that so many people like will choose like let's just say the dark or urge or like the honor like run. And I'm just like, you guys are really committed, like to do like I feel like a full commitment to like that is going to be your experience. Like you're going to completely just be like dark and evil for your entire run of that game, or you're going to be like completely honorable the entire run of your game. And I'm like, my characters have to be a little bit of mix of both because sometimes like you might just have to say something sarcastic, and then sometimes you might just want to like in some situations you might have to pickpocket somebody in a game. So it just really depends. And I think even as far as like I what I have found that in my games, I'm always trying to save the animals by any cost. I will try to figure out a way to save the animal a bunch of times if I have to, and keep going back if the animal dies to try to figure out, is there a way that I can prevent this from happening? That's so I'm committed to like my characters are always committed to that part. I can definitely say.
No, I love that. So, I want to say I got a few more questions. First and foremost, when it comes to last year, how was it for you just as a streamer, as a content creator, just in general? How was 2025 for you?
2025 ended on such a high note because I think at the beginning of 2025, I had no idea I was going to be streaming. No idea. I didn't start streaming until December. This recent, like this past December.
That recent.
I have grown my like within this amount of time between let's just say maybe like December 20, was it right before Christmas? I feel like maybe it was right before Christmas. I've literally grown my audience by like maybe like 1,000 plus already.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's in a matter of like less than 28 days. So that's been crazy. And then I think the other thing is too, is that before, like, let's just say maybe about, I'm trying to think, it might've been like 2020, 2018, maybe. I was doing Twitch.
Okay.
But I didn't take it that serious. And now I'm kind of glad that it happened now rather than then, just because I feel like I've gone along my journey and I've explored and figured out a lot of things along the way. And I'm glad that I am where I am in this moment, because 2025, like ending my year on the note that I did, as far as like even starting to stream, wasn't just more than enough. Like even as far as like meeting a lot of the people that I've met, like there's somebody that I connected with that ended up like really loving, like, let's just say Scarlet Witch. I had a Scarlet Witch comic book. I ended up UPSing it to her like yesterday. And this is somebody I've never met in my life, but I'm like, you love Scarlet Witch. Like I have this comic book. You don't have it. You can have it. It's yours. It's like, you're a part of my community. It's yours. And I think that is the amazing thing, especially with the people that I have met in the last, like literally like last 30, like I can't even say 30 days, it's less than 30 days, that have already started to feel like family already, in a lot of different ways, where we have been hopeful for each other in different ways as far as resources are concerned. So I'm like looking forward to the rest of this year as far as streaming is concerned. I'm locked in all the way, so I don't see myself like falling back off of it at all. And I've been balancing it with being a therapist. So it's a journey that I'm looking forward to and an adventure. And I think that also kind of turns into like the Dungeons and Dragon lore, where it's just kind of like, you don't know what's ahead of you, but you know you're looking forward to it no matter like what is kind of coming your way.
I can feel that definitely, because it's like, as someone myself, I have like I first started up 3-4 years ago, where I started. And the same way, I didn't take Twitch very seriously, didn't really care too much about it. Then I went and started. I was like TikTok. I kind of dicked around on TikTok for a while. Decided I was going to try to take it seriously, and at this point, I'm not gonna lie, 2025 was a fucking stacked year, especially that ending, and that's where I started all these. So I'm interested also with like 2026. One, are there any games you're looking forward to in 2026?
Ooh, okay. So Larian has, which is the house that made Baldur's Gate 3, they have Divinity coming out. I have not played Divinity 1 or Divinity 2, but based off of the way that the artwork looks for Divinity, the new one that's coming out, I'm excited. I think at first I was a little caught off guard by the trailer, just because
Yeah, that trailer.
it was a little dark. I was like,
It
I don't
was
know if I'm gonna
something.
be playing this or not. But then I read a little bit more about it, and they said that even though the world is dark, that your character's purpose is to kind of be a light in this dark world.
Okay.
And I was like, I can understand that. I can understand
Yeah, I
that.
get
That's
that.
something I could roll with. And they said that they are actually looking to perfect some of the things that they felt like were flaws in BG3, which I feel like is also a good sign, because it's like there you're going to have also the opportunity to do like companionship romances.
Okay.
They said that they want to deepen the relationships that you build.
Mhm.
So I'm like, that sounds good too. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. I don't know how I feel about Wizards of the Coast making a Dungeons and Dragons game. I think that one's called Warlock.
Okay.
Um, huh?
Isn't that like a third person? Like I don't think it's like turn based, is it?
They said it's not. They said that game is not going to be turn based.
Okay.
So I don't know what to think about it, because Wizards of the Coast, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, but do you know if they've made any other games in the past, like video games?
I can't think of any. No.
So with this being their first, and I don't know if this is supposed to be like a FU to Larian or not, but I just don't know. I really don't know what to think about it. Because it's like, is this going to be like a Harry Potter type of game?
Mhm.
Wait, did Wizards of the Coast make? Why do I feel like? Wait, no, I don't know. I was sitting here as I said that. I'm like, did they do Hogwarts?
No, that was Avalanche, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
don't know
see.
any
Out of
games that Wizards of
curiosity.
the Coast have made.
Oh, they have. Wait, have they? Are these video games? Um, they said they got a game called Exodus, a new AAA science fiction action adventure role playing video game. I don't know if this came out already. Oh, is it out?
No, I don't. Video games made by Wizard of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons, Pokemon, Warriors. Raid, Shadow Legends.
Yeah, see, I've never heard if they do. I've never heard of them or seen them. So
No, I haven't either. So for them to do that, it's kind of like it reminds me similar to how Game Freak is doing like a completely new game.
oh,
When I think of Game Freak, I think of Pokemon.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
when I think of Pokemon all the time, and so like I'm like, okay, cool. But then they're doing like some fantasy like Eastern, like it's kind of like Asian style like game, and I'm like, dude, this looks so like okay, cool. We're finally letting you guys cut loose a little bit
Yeah.
and seeing what they can make. I'm really stoked about it.
I think I know what game you're talking about. Is it like a boy and a girl together?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I know
Been a
what
while
game
since
you're
I've
talking about.
tried
It looks beautiful so far, like from just the artwork that I've seen. But I think that was just a trailer, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just been a trailer. I don't think we've heard anything else. But I mean, I hope we do soon. Like,
Yeah, I definitely do too.
I'm always a big like if a game gets canceled, I'm always like super bummed about it. Last year it was Wonder Woman. I was very interested to hear of a Wonder Woman game made by Monolith, who made the what are they called? The Shadows of War and Shadows of Mordor.
Okay.
And then it was going to feature the Nemesis system.
Okay.
But then they canceled it. So yeah, I'm bummed about that one.
Okay.
But like I just hope that it doesn't get canceled.
And I feel like that's something else that because of my community on TikTok, that I've started watching people play like Shadows of Mordor on TikTok. Like streamers play that game, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. I would definitely. I haven't played it in a while. It's the nicest way to say it. It's a PS4 title. Both of them are, I believe.
Okay.
Like so, it's a PS4 title. Shadows of Mordor and Shadows of War.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we're gonna get another one because I believe Monolith got like shut down.
Oh.
And then WB just got bought out by Netflix.
Oh, I didn't hear about that either.
Yeah, so because they got bought up by Netflix, like I have no clue what Netflix is even gonna do with it. And to be honest, I'm a little worried. Like I'm a little worried about what like they're gonna probably can so much stuff. So it does kind of bother me a little bit, but it's just the nature. I can't really do nothing about it unless I want to make like $95 billion and try to buy it from them.
Maybe you can like create a petition.
Right? Yeah, like what was that? GoFundMe. So, but then my last question, I love asking this, um, is what does gaming mean to you?
mm, gaming means to me, I would say immersion. I would say that it offers me an opportunity and a chance to kind of like immerse myself in a different world, a different character, different abilities that I never had. Like even if hypothetically speaking, I didn't have the ability to walk in a game, you can swim, like, and have a tail or like fly. There's so many different things that you can do that you can't do in real life, but then you also have the opportunity to like meet people. And I think specifically, like even thinking about Baldur's Gate 3, is that there's so much different trauma that different characters have experienced in Baldur's Gate 3 that you're able to work through different emotions or feelings through these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be, something going on with your family or something going on with your friends or going on in your relationship. It's like the characters are experiencing it and you're experiencing it through them. And it gives you, I think, a lot of perspective. So in a sense, video games also give me perspective. They give me an outlet because sometimes, like even right now, like in New Jersey, it's like 20 degrees outside. Do I want to be outside while there's flu season going on? Not really. No. But in my house, I'm able to kind of like just be in this world, being submersed in it, where I'm able to like go travel and look at the mountaintops and look at the ocean. And like also you get to hear the birds like chirping any time of the day that you go in there. Or it's just so many different things and so many different life experiences that you'll may never, well, in a lot of different ways, never have. Because like in real life I'll never be a real tiefling, but in Baldur's Gate I can be a tiefling, I can be a bard, I can be a fighter, a barbarian, I can be a cleric, a healer. And I think even as far as like being a therapist in real life, it's like being a healer in even Dungeons Dragons or in Baldur's Gate 3, it gives me an outlook to kind of look at what it looks like to kind of like save your friends or save the people that you care about when they're going through like life-changing things in different ways. So it also has helped me kind of have a bigger perspective on what it means to be a healer, what it means to be a therapist, and to kind of be in the healthcare field and be able to provide support to others. Because there's so much things that people experience on a day-to-day basis that you might not really know about people, even friends, family, not just clients, but it gives you a different perspective as far as like being open to understanding people that you might not otherwise really know. So it really does allow me in a lot of different ways to kind of experience life outside of myself, which I feel like is actually very relieving at times, because sometimes we just need to kind of like just go and get a little lost, not completely lost,
Right.
but just get a little lost. And then I think even sometimes in getting lost, you kind of find pieces of yourself in that process. And I feel like gaming gives you that opportunity.
I love that. No, very true. I mean, it's that emergence to be able to just be someone else. It's like cosplaying virtually.
Yeah, it is. It's a little cheaper sometimes too.
Yeah, it kind of is. But I really do appreciate you being here, taking the time to come in and chat with me. I really do. This has been a lot of fun, and I've highly appreciate you 110%.
I'm so excited for you too.
You've been absolutely killing it. So like to go from like that 1,000 in like a month, damn.
It's been crazy growth. Like every day it's like crazy growth. And it's like I'm so excited to actually meet people every day. And I think even this is, you know what, I don't know if there's a way to do this in a game, like in a Dungeons and Dragons game, where you could actually pretend to be like the the actual bartender in a tavern, because I think that would be freaking fun as well. Because you got to think about all the different characters that come in there.
Oh yeah, I can see that as like as a series of like some dude who's in like an anime of the guy who's the bartender, and so like it's just every day.
I know which one
like,
you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I could see it. I could definitely see it. But also I forgot real quick here. Did forget, where can they find you?
Okay, they can find me on TikTok, on Instagram as Strangewonderful, and I think also on YouTube is Strangewonderful, and then on Twitch it is full HP Ash. I don't think there's any underscores; it's just full HP Ash, and that's it. And then also I have my website www.strangewonderful.com.
Awesome. And for those, I mean, who you guys know, you can catch me over on YouTube and Twitch because that's how you're watching this. Also, gotta let you know too. I have two more podcasts actually tomorrow. One in the morning and one in the evening. I will also be doing my own separate one, so you'll just get to see my mug for like an hour or so. If you want to ask questions, you're free to ask questions and all that other good stuff. So that should be fun. But also Instagram, TikTok, Threads. I got a Facebook account up about Afro in the Know as well, so you guys can catch me all on there. And I'm starting to put all the shit up on Spotify. It takes a while, and I'm kind of lazy. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit. So, with all that being said, everyone, I'm Taylor from Afro Fish OG. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will catch you all in the next one.